So thank you for coming. You know, this is, you're quite a unique artist, and I've never seen anything like it. I've seen something similar, but not really like what you're doing. And then with the yoga and dance, and how did it start?
Yeah, so it started a long time ago when I started doing yoga. I started practicing yoga, and then something happened very frequently. It was that people from my yoga class came to me after class. A lot of people did that, just random people, and they would ask me, "Are you a dancer?" And I was like, "No, I'm not a dancer. Why?" And they would tell me, "Well, because when you do yoga, it looks like you're dancing." So that made me think. I mean, I always loved dancing in an informal way. So that made me think, like, well, maybe I'm a dancer. So I started doing contemporary dance, and I realized, well, many things happened, but as I started doing a contemporary dance, I realized that my body was trained differently from bodies that normally do contemporary dance, who are trained with ballet, right? So after working in a contemporary dance company that I was invited, I decided that I wanted to do my own technique, that I wanted to try to explore how can bodies move differently if they're trained with yoga rather than ballet. So that was basically the story of how it started.
And how long ago was that?
That was so in 2021 I started my own technique. I started doing dance a long time ago, like 8 years ago.
And also, I really admire that you're working with a composer. What's that? How did that happen?
Yeah, so he's actually my friend from high school. He's a close friend, and well, I just had to do. I was doing a piece for a contest, a piece called Mandala, and I knew he was a composer, and I'm also a musician. I'm a pianist, so we've always been close in that sense of, you know, speaking about music and having a connection related to that. But so I asked him if he would be interested in composing something for dance, and he was actually really excited about it. He said like he found it really interesting to compose in that sense, right? Because a composer, it's not the same to compose music in general than to really try to merge with a dance piece, right? He has to analyze, he has to really understand what the choreographer wants to do. So we had a great connection during the composition of that piece. And so, yeah, I just decided I wanted to work with him again, and that's how, yeah.
How was the process? Did you give him your idea, and then did you keep going back and forth on it, or?
Yeah, so yeah, we go back and forth. I normally have like a conversation, like an initial conversation with him. He asks me what are the sensations I feel with this dance piece. What are the emotions? what is it that I want to say with my piece. And so we kind of work in a parallel way, like I'm doing the choreography while he's doing the composition. And then I send him some of the things, some of the moves that I've already started doing in my choreography, and then he analyzes that, and then we talk again, and then he composes more, and then I listen to it, and then maybe I tell him, well, this sounds a little bit, I don't know, maybe this is too high pitched or whatever, and so he modifies. So it's kind of going back and forth, analyzing what works, what doesn't work, and he's very very like interested in knowing what I really want. So that's very good.
What is the story of the piece? I think I got most of it, but I didn't get all of it.
Yeah. Of this last piece.
Yes.
Yeah. So this piece is about racism in Mexico, and racism is a topic that is, I mean, many people talk about it, but what I wanted to do here was not to really analyze what, like, in a mental way, but I wanted to study how bodies move differently when racism is involved. So in other words, it is different to be white in this country, in the sense that your body is gonna react differently just in like daily life, since it's gonna sense differently, it's gonna have more confidence, it's gonna have more power in the world. So I wanted to analyze how bodies moved when they're racialized, how the skin color matters in how you move, how you move and how you feel. So that was what I wanted to show in my piece.
It was a wonderful, in the beginning, a wonderful moment when the first girl that came out was transferring energy, and I actually could feel it, the energy between the two dancers.
Yeah.
It was physical, it was beautiful. And what was that about, the transferring of energy?
Yeah, so the transferring of energy that you felt, I think, has to do with this transferring of power that I find in what happens in the phenomenon of racism and racialized body. So I think that these two bodies that were transferring energy were, these are two white bodies. So they kind of flow together very well because of this transferring of power that happens with white bodies.
And there was a moment I really touched me when you were sort of dead off the side.
Yeah.
And what led up to that?
Yeah, so the piece develops into a moment where there's really like a moment of violence, right? There's in this idea of a racialized body, there's a moment where there's a lot of tension, of buildup of tension. Mm-hmm. There's a kind of like a fight between the white body and the brown skin colored body, and that's the moment where you say, like, I die, because yes, it's like the white body having more power, imposing in the brown body.
And this was really beautiful when the two girls kind of enveloped each other, and I wasn't really prepared for anything, and it actually brought a very emotional response in me.
So yeah, exactly. So that buildup of tension leads to a moment of relaxation, right? Mm-hmm. Which is, I think that's the most paradoxical moment in the piece, because it's when, as you say, like, I disappear and then there's peace, right?
And their energies kind of merged.
And their energies merged together, and they're the two white bodies together. So what I'm saying there kind of is like, yeah, it kind of works perfect between them, right?
Mhm.
There's peace, there's transferring of energy, there's transferring of power, as far as there's not a different body to them, you know. And so it's kind of like paradoxical that it's so moving because everything works out. However, that has to happen as a result of violence. Yeah, definitely. So to me, the color of the costume is very important, right? And the lightning, as you said, because as I'm speaking about color of skin and what it does to the bodies, to me it's very important that that's something that is highlighted, or that's something that the spectator gets, right? And as you say, it draws like a canvas for the spectator.
Thank you. I really appreciate you doing this work for us. I really, really loved it. Tell me, what do you got? What are you going in the future? What do you got going in the future?
Yeah, so well, first thank you also, Brian. And well, in the future I plan to first to learn a lot more, to learn more on dance, to learn more on yoga. For that, I'm doing a trip to India this September, like dig deeper into the idea of yoga and dance and the relationship. Actually, I've spoken to some academics in India that study about these things, and what they've told me is, in fact, dance and yoga were always very related.
Jayati Yoga Vidya. Jayati Yoga Vidya. Jayati Yoga Vidya Adya Shubhada Bharata Bhumi.
It's just that when it came to the Western world, it was kind of like separated from dance. But Indian dance and yoga have always been related. So I wish I can learn more about this. I'm going to investigate more about this. And yeah, just also keep on learning about contemporary dance, which is a fascinating world to me. And obviously keep creating and becoming better as a choreographer, as a dancer, as a yogi, and just going deeper into my story, which is what I just told you.
Do you have a yoga master?
Yeah, I do.
Tell me.
So my initial yoga teacher, she was a ballet dancer in the national company for around 20 years, I think. So she danced for a lot of time. She also did contemporary dance, and then she became a yoga teacher. So her journey is kind of like the other way around. But she always really inspired me. She I don't know, just the way she moved. I feel like that's where I got the inspiration. And she's actually one of the, like, she helped me create this technique, because when I started doing yoga and dance together, I spoke to her and I was like, Tui is her name, Tui Romero. I have this idea. What do you think? I want to explore the relationship between yoga and dance. And she was like, yes, definitely, let's do it. Come to my house. We'll explore here together. And that's how it started. Then she had to make like a really long trip. She left, and we stopped that exploration. But it started with her, and she really is an inspiration. She always pushed me to, like, I also remember I told her when I wanted to dance. She was like, definitely, and she helped me and she made recommendations, which is something that you don't find a lot in dance, I would say, because sometimes people are like, oh, you're too old, just don't try that. But she was really, really, really pushing me to do it. So I'm really grateful for that.
And we're grateful for you. I'm looking forward to seeing a continuation of this exploration, and I'm going to follow you to see where it goes. We don't really know,
Yeah.
because it's something new. And not often in dance, there's something new. And this really is very, very exciting. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brian.